and Eknath Shinde ji, Devendra Fadnavis ji, and Ajay Datta, all three leaders have always coordinated well with each other, helped each other on each other's seats. We have always gone down to detailing of every seat. Wherever we needed each other's support, they have always helped. So I think that coordination, preparedness, and
so tell us this: the last guy you worked with was Chandrababu Naidu. He has this CEO kind of avatar, very prompt and punctual. Now you're working with Eknath Shinde, who works till 4 a.m. in the morning, and oftentimes during the campaign you are also up till late at night and therefore waking up late. What's the difference between working for Eknath Shinde and working for Chandrababu Naidu? Both
are very hardworking, but one major difference is that here Maharashtra CM, he's a mass leader. I think he's one of the biggest mass leader that Maharashtra has ever seen. And he could be one of the biggest mass leader that country could ever see in next 5 to 10 years.
You know, he keeps Robin up at 3 in the morning. That's the big difference. You know, Chandrababu Naidu usually is an early riser. And so Robin's time clock has changed. With Chandrababu Naidu, he had to get up early. With Eknath Shinde, you had to sleep late. Am I correct? Broadly.
No, not even 3. 3 is the average. It's 4, 4:30, even 5:30. So, and he, you know, during, if you see as an example, during election meetings, he used to do 7 to 8 election meetings in a day. Come back at 10:30, 11 in the night. Then he used to start interview. I'm sure, Rajdeep, you took interview at 4 a.m. in the morning.
4 a.m. Finished at 4:11.
Yeah. So he used to give interviews after he completes election meetings at 6 until 6 in the morning. Then 9:30 he gets up and goes for election meetings again. So that's how his schedule was. So he worked really hard, and I think that's paying off.
I need to ask a question. Did you have some specific strategy for Sena versus Sena contest, or was it really the same for all the seats you contested?
I think for Sena versus Sena contest, one thing I can tell now that we utilized that confusion of CM face that they were having, Mavika Sagadi. Because the two factors that helped, I think. One is that Katengo Batenge was able to break certain core Uddhav Thackeray, Uddhav Sena votes in favor of us. Number two, the confusion of CM face, that Uddhav ji might not be the CM face and Congress will have a CM face, that also helped us in Sena versus Sena contest.
Were you expecting this result, 39 out of 59 odd seats, or is this even better? Because Sharad Pawar's faction is reduced to just 12. This is a complete turnaround from the Lok Sabha campaign where the strike rate is 1 out of 5. You know, the tables have completely turned in terms of which is the real NCP.
Well, of course, when Rajdeep and Rahul, both of you were in Maharashtra, we were discussing, and I was confident that we'll be touching somewhere around 35 to 40 seats. And to be honest, 40 was not the number we were looking at. We were aiming for, but yes, something around 35 we were confident that we will be achieving. And we were contesting 57 seats on our symbol, and out of that, we should be around 40.
What, according to you, changed between Lok Sabha and Vidhan Sabha? Quite apart from you joining hands with Ajit Pawar, I'm sure that had some impact, but what according to you was the major factor that changed between Lok Sabha and Vidhan Sabha so much?
See, apart from whatever the government schemes and the campaign and the projection, etc., there was one thing which Ajit Pawar had to understand about the change of his role. From an administrator, which everyone vouches for him from opposition to the people who are in power, he had to take on the role of a vote getter as well. He was a person who was reluctant for media. He never used to speak to media. He was never going out for public meetings and the interactions that a vote getter should be doing or a party president should be doing. So first of all, it was the change required for him to understand that he has a bigger and a different role now. Once he understood that that is his role, of course, you could see everything changing on the ground, from Jan Samman Yatra to the adoring of the pink color and getting to the women folk fair to see that they connect with him, whatever he's wanting to communicate. And mind you, Rajdeep understands Marathi more than anyone else, that he is a very good orator as well. So that those oratory skills were not being utilized as the way they should have been for a leader who's wanting to have votes for his party in his name or on his symbol.
But why, may I ask you why pink? May I ask you why pink? And is it true that you asked him to smile more?
Well, Rahul asked the same question to me on the India Today conclave, but it's not that I have to ask him to smile more. It's just that he needs to speak to people more. And while speaking, of course, his original self does come out. And one other thing which I told that time also, that probably for 30 years that he's not been smiling or has not been seen smiling, probably that is why people notice it more.
And the biggest question right now is Maharashtra ka Mukhyamantri kaun? Who would be the next chief minister of Maharashtra? Will it be Eknath Shinde or will it be Devendra Fadnavis, or could there be a dark horse that we are not talking about at all? Of course, the Deputy Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis, he does become a very strong candidate to be Chief Minister of Maharashtra once again with BJP's stellar performance. Look at the strike rate of the Bharatiya Janata Party, 85% plus. The Mahayuti has said all the three parties, they will now sit together. They will decide on their leaders, and then there would be consultation on who would be the chief minister and who would be the deputy chief ministers. They, of course, slammed Mahavikas Aghadi politics. They said they were fighting on who would be chief minister even before winning elections. Here, there is a problem of plenty, but that is after winning the elections. And we'll be tracking that story very, very closely. That is all I have for you on this special broadcast. Many thanks for watching. One thing is very clear, the voters of India have spoken and spoken very decisively. A quick break, news and updates continue on India Today. Stay with us.
Rangila Re with Motorola's incredible range of smartphones.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Razr 50 Ultra comes with Google Gemini.
Hi, I am AI anchor Sana, bringing the top headlines for you, presented by Motorola. Big blow to MVA in Maharashtra as Mahayuti crosses majority mark. Jharkhand Assembly election results declared, Hemant Soren set to form government again. Supreme Court issues notice to CBI and ED on Manish Sisodia's bail relaxation plea in Delhi excise policy case.
Certainly, I think all the analysts in the whole of India, I don't know what is the mechanism why we have lost so much. The reason is even in MP, when you see Madhya Pradesh, the ruling government has got 8% of increase of vote share. It is surprising. Even if Congress gets, I would like to know what is the reason. I'm not trying to, straight away blame, but always I'm trying to put there is a doubt, element of doubt. The reason is, could be there is a chance of tampering. The reason is, in the parliament election, same Modi ji comes and he does not get some mandate there. After 6 months, the same ruling government, which definitely runs with an anti-incumbency, does get so much huge of majority, is always a question mark. Even if Congress would have won, there has to be reasoning why it has won with such thumbing majority.
पहली बार नहीं उठ रहा है, बार बार उठता जा रहा है कि क्या ईवीएम पे भी व्यापक चर्चा होनी चाहिए, स्टेक होल्डर से बात करनी चाहिए। इलेक्शन कमीशन उसको सीधे सीधे खारिज कर देता है रादर देन विनिंग ओवर द कॉन्फिडेंस ऑफ द पीपल। कितनी महाराष्ट्र में कितनी जगहों पर मैं गई थी जहां
उद्धव ठाकरे ने 2019 में नरेंद्र मोदी को धोखा दिया, लोगों ने सबक सिखाया। राहुल गांधी और उद्धव ठाकरे लव जिहाद, लेन जिहाद, वोट जिहाद के समर्थन में मैदान उतरे। महाराष्ट्र की जनता चिंतित हो चुकी। टाटा इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ सोशल साइंस का जो रिपोर्ट आया था, क्या ऐसा ही रहा तो बांग्लादेशी मुस्लिम, रोहिंग्या मुस्लिम के कारण मुंबई में 2050 में हिंदू लोक संख्या सिर्फ 54% बढ़ेगी। तो लोगों ने जो भाजपा की विकास की नीति और जो वोट जिहाद का बदले धर्म युद्ध का समर्थन किया।
आप एक हैं तो सेफ हैं, बटों के तो गटों के नारे की बात कर रहे हैं। आपको लगता है कि इस बार हिंदुओं ने एक साथ एकमुश्त होकर महायुति को समर्थन दिया?
इस बार विश्वास और विकास दोनों में मानने वाले मतदाताओं ने नरेंद्र मोदी जी के एक है तो सेफ है, बटेंगे तो कटेंगे, वोट जिहाद विरुद्ध धर्म युद्ध, उसमें विश्वास व्यक्त किया।
संजय राउत कह रहे हैं कि उनको ये डाइजेस्ट नहीं है रिजल्ट और वो चाहते हैं बैलेट पेपर चुनाव।
किसी के भी घर में अपने कोई प्रकल्प का, कोई किसी व्यक्ति का मृत्यु होता है। आज महाराष्ट्र की जनता ने उद्धव ठाकरे सेना विसर्जित कर दी, तो स्वाभाविक है उनको दुख तो होगा।
आज मैं महाराष्ट्र के तमाम मतदाताओं को बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देता हूँ, उनका अभिनंदन करता हूँ, क्योंकि ये विक्ट्री जो है ये लैंडस्लाइड विक्ट्री है। ये मैंने कहा था कि महायुति को थम्पिंग मेजोरिटी मिलेगी, और इसीलिए मैं तमाम मतदाता जो है, मेरी लाडली बहनाओं को मैं धन्यवाद देता हूँ, लाडले किसानों को मैं धन्यवाद देता हूँ, और लाडले हमारे भाई हैं, लाडले सीनियर सिटीजन हैं, सभी वर्ग जो है, सभी वर्ग को मैं धन्यवाद देता हूँ कि उन्होंने ऐसी विजयश्री प्राप्त कर दी है कि न भूतो न भविष्य तो ऐसी विक्ट्री जो इस बार मिली है, जो 2-2.5 साल हमारी महायुति ने काम किया है। ये महायुति ने जो काम किया है, उसके काम के ऊपर ये जनता ने शिक्कामोर्तब किया है, काम को तवज्जो दिया है, प्राथमिकता दी है, और इसीलिए महायुति को इतनी बड़ी जीत हासिल हुई है। इसलिए मैं महायुति के पूरे महाराष्ट्र की जनता को तो धन्यवाद देता ही हूँ, उनका स्वागत करता हूँ, लेकिन महायुति के सभी कार्यकर्ताओं को भी धन्यवाद देता हूँ। उन्होंने जो काम किया है, बहुत ही बढ़िया काम किया है, और इस चुनाव में हमारे महायुति को जिताया है। इसलिए मैं बहुत बहुत उनका आभारी हूँ।
पूर्ण बहुमत की सरकार आने वाली है। ये जनादेश स्पष्ट है कि अब प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में गरीब, किसान, युवा, महिलाओं के लिए जो काम उन्होंने शुरू किया है, जनता ने उस पर आशीर्वाद दिया है।
ईवीएम पर विस्तृत चर्चा होनी चाहिए, व्यापक चर्चा होनी चाहिए, लेकिन वो दिन आज का दिन नहीं है। मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि एक चुनाव का परिणाम अच्छा नहीं आया है, हमारे लिए बहुत बड़ा सबक है इसमें, ये डिसअपॉइंटिंग है। हम ईवीएम पर जरूर व्यापक चर्चा करना चाहते हैं। हम जिस तरह से महाराष्ट्र का चुनाव टाला गया, महायुति को वक्त मिला अपनी स्कीम लॉन्च करने का, 3-3 इंस्टॉलमेंट्स गए, वो सारे फैक्टर्स हैं। लेकिन डिसअपॉइंटिंग बात यह है कि हमारे वो नंबर्स नहीं है जिसकी हमें आशा थी। नहीं, मैं बिल्कुल मानती हूँ कि महाराष्ट्र के रिजल्ट हमारी आशा के विपरीत गए हैं और इसमें मुझे कोई संशय नहीं है कि हम शायद महाराष्ट्र में बहुत ज्यादा बेटर कर सकते थे। लेकिन इस बात की खुशी है कि झारखंड में हमारी परफॉर्मेंस अच्छी रही है। इस बात की भी खुशी है कि झारखंड में हमारी सरकार रिपीट हम करने जा रहे हैं। हम सबक सीखते हैं इलेक्शन से और ड्राइंग बोर्ड पर जाकर हम देखेंगे कि क्या हुआ। महाराष्ट्र का इलेक्शन बिल्कुल डिसअपॉइंटिंग है, लेकिन झारखंड एक उम्मीद है और एक आशा है कि अगर मुद्दों पर चुनाव लड़ा जाए तो जीत आपकी जरूर होती है, सरकार रिपीट होती है।
जो नतीजे सामने आए उसका ऊपर मैं विश्वास रखने को तैयार नहीं। ये
प्रेजेंटेड बाय पारुल यूनिवर्सिटी वडोदरा गुजरात, को प्रेजेंटेड बाय आपका जॉय भारत का जॉय, जॉय ई बाइक, महिंद्रा इलेक्ट्रिक ओरिजिन एसयूवीज।
Good evening and welcome. It was a magical day for the Mahayuti at the hustings in Maharashtra. A victory beyond the wildest imagination of BJP supporters. What impact does this have on the future of Indian politics? Also, the India Alliance winning big in Jharkhand. We're tracking all of this. Key newsmakers will be joining us over the next couple of hours. Let's get started. Here are the headlines I'm tracking this evening. It's a Mahayuti tsunami in Maharashtra. BJP secures its third consecutive victory in the state. Shinde Sena gets more seats than the Mahavikas Agadi combined. Ajit Pawar redeems himself with the NCP's performance. PM Modi hails the UT victory, says development and good governance is won. PM declares united, we will soar even higher. He also congratulates Hemant Soren on his win in Jharkhand. The race for the next Chief Minister of Maharashtra intensifies. Who will it be? Eknath Shinde or Devendra Fadnavis? Ajit Pawar's wife says the NCP Neta could be made CM. After poll rout, Mahavikas Agadi cries EVM conspiracy. Uddhav Thackeray says it needs to be investigated if people or EVMs gave the verdict. Sanjay Raut says the results are unbelievable. JMM-led India Alliance wins Jharkhand. Hemant Soren set to return as Chief Minister, thanks his wife and star campaigner Kalpana Soren for the victory. BJP Alliance wins 7 out of 9 seats in Uttar Pradesh by polls. UP CM Yogi Adityanath credits the Prime Minister for the victory, says ek rahenge to safe rahenge message resonated with voters.
जनता जनार्दन ने स्पष्ट कर दिया है कि समाजवादी पार्टी और इंडी गठबंधन का लूट और झूठ की जो पॉलिटिक्स है, अब इसके अंत की उद्घोषणा भी यह चुनाव है।
Priyanka Gandhi Watra makes a smashing debut as Lok Sabha MP, wins Wayanad by over 4 lakh votes. Priyanka thanks her brother Rahul for his support. One of the biggest disappointments today is for the Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray Sena. Uddhav Thackeray at this moment doing a press conference. Let's listen in live to what he has to say. This is the worst possible outcome for Uddhav Thackeray, who was hoping to be Chief Minister of the Mahavikas Aghadi. Let's listen to the UBT chief.
सुरक्षितता वाऱ्यावरती सोडली गेले म्हणून दिली का? म्हणजे नेमकं कळत नाही की कोणत्या प्रेमापोटी हा शब्द चुकीचा आहे, रागापोटी अशी ही लाट जणू काय उसळले हे कळत नाहीये. हा निकाल अनाकलनीय आहे आणि याच्या मागचं गुपित हे काही दिवसामध्ये तर शोधावं लागेल. तूर्त मी महाराष्ट्राच्या जनतेला सांगतोय की आपण निराश होऊ नका, खचून जाऊ नका. काही जण म्हणतात की हा EVMचा विजय आहे, असूही शकतो, पण महाराष्ट्राच्या जनतेला हा निकाल मान्य असेल तर मग कोणीच काही बोलण्याची गरज नाहीये. पण जर मान्य नसेल तर त्यांना सांगतो की आम्ही प्राणपणाने महाराष्ट्रासाठी लढत राहू, महाराष्ट्राच्या हितासाठी आम्ही लढत राहू. कोणी काही म्हटलं तरी महाराष्ट्राच्या जनतेला मी वचन देतो की आम्ही तुमच्या सोबत आहोत.
आय प्रॉमिस हा जो विजय आहे महायुतीचा, लाडकी बहीणचा इम्पॅक्ट असल्याचं म्हटलं जाते.
लाडकी बहीणचा इम्पॅक्ट जर का असेल तर मग बाकीच्या ज्या काही गोष्टी या उघड दिसत होता, आपण सुद्धा रिपोर्टिंग केलेलं आहे. मी तेच म्हटलं ना की सोयाबीनला भाव नाही आहे, कापूस खरेदी होत नाही, शेतकऱ्याच्या डोक्यावरती कर्ज चढलेलं आहे, बेरोजगारी वाढते आहे, महिला असुरक्षित आहेत, ह्या अशा अनेक गोष्टी आहेत, बेकारी वाढते आहे. तर लाडकी बहीणपेक्षा ज्या महिला आमच्या सभेला प्रचंड संख्येने येत होत्या त्यांच्यासमोर प्रश्न होता की घर कसं चालवायचं. कारण महागाई वाढते म्हणजे वाढती महागाईची शाबासकी म्हणून या सरकारला मत दिलं का? आणि आता मला एक असं वाटतं प्रामाणिकपणे, हा टोमणा नाही, की यावेळेला तरी अस्सल भाजपचा कोणतरी मुख्यमंत्री होईल अशी अपेक्षा आहे किंवा आशा आहे. विकास आघाडीचं आम्ही फार प्रामाणिकपणाने वागलो, हे चुकलं की काय असं मला वाटतंय.
and very transparent. Now I think that it was the mistake by us.
288 पैकी या मोजलेल्या जागा किती आहेत? 288 पैकी बरोबर आहे, पण 288 पैकी या जागा किती आहेत आणि अशाच काही जागा या त्यांच्याकडे पण आहेत. पण म्हणून मी म्हटलं ना की अशी लाट उसळले, असं काय नेमकं यांनी काम केले ते तिथे दाखवा ना. पण आणखी एक त्यांचं अभिनंदन करण्यामध्ये मला कुठे कद्रूपणा दाखवायचं नाहीये. मी त्यांचं अभिनंदन करतो. आणि आता निवडणूक आयोगाने स्थगिती दिलेली लाडकी बहीण ही योजना पूर्ववत चालू करून त्याच्यात 2100 रुपये दर महिना ते द्यायला लागतील. नंतर कोणी बोलू नये की असं जुमला तर निवडणुकीच्या वेळेला करावं लागतो. या सगळ्या आश्वासनांची पूर्तता त्यांनी लवकरात लवकर करावी अशी माझी मागणी आहे.
Seems like Ladli Behan could continue. No one should come forward and say that it was just a tsunami jumla.
हाच एक अनाकलनीय बदल. आणि मला असं वाटतं की कोरोनाच्या काळामध्ये कुटुंब प्रमुखाप्रमाणे माझं ऐकणारा महाराष्ट्र हा माझ्याशी असा वागेल याच्यावरती माझा विश्वास नाहीये. कारण मी
during the corona period I discharged my duties as the head of the family, but the people of Maharashtra will treat me like this. It is unbelievable.
एक पोलराइजेशन दिखाई दिया, खुल के बात कर रहे थे, बटेंगे तो कटेंगे. आपको लगता है
ये कुछ नहीं चला, क्योंकि बेकारी तो कुछ चीजें ऐसी होती कि जो सेक्युलर होती है. जैसे बेकारी है, महंगाई है, वो सेक्युलर है. सभी को महंगाई की मार पड़ रही है, सभी को जो बेरोजगारी है वो सता रही है. तो ऐसे कुछ नहीं.
एकनाथ शिंदे यांच्या शिवसेनेच्या जवळपास 55 जागा आलेल्या आहेत. त्यांचं असं म्हणणं आहे की या निकालातून
That was Uddhav Thackeray saying he finds these results unbelievable. He doesn't think he did anything so bad that this is the verdict that the people of Maharashtra would deliver. It will take some time for these leaders to come to terms with what has been a tsunami in Maharashtra. There were Maha celebrations, meanwhile, in the Mahayuti. The BJP, the Shiv Sena, the NCP alliance together registered a stunning victory in these elections. Earlier this evening, the three big faces, Devendra Fadnavis, Eknath Shinde and Ajit Pawar, addressed a press conference where they hailed their victory as a win for Vikas and declared that the Maha Vikas Agadi's false narrative has been demolished.
लोकांनी कल्याणाचं आणि विकासाचं राजकारण स्वीकारलं. लोकांनी सुडाचं, आरोपाचं, द्वेषाचं राजकारण झिडकारलं. आणि म्हणून दोन निवडणुका ज्या लोकसभेमध्ये पण आणि लोकसभेत फेक नॅरेटिव्ह वगैरे सगळं केलं, काय काय केलं, संविधान बदलणार वगैरे सगळ्या जातीमध्ये भीती निर्माण केली, प्रत्येकाला घाबरवलं, तरी सुद्धा एवढं होऊन पण प्रधानमंत्रीपदी मोदी साहेबच बसले.
प्रधानमंत्री जी ने एक जो नारा दिया था, एक है तो सेफ है, सब समाज को साथ में लाने वाली जो बात प्रधानमंत्री जी ने कही थी, महाराष्ट्र के लोगों ने उसको रिस्पॉन्ड किया है और महाराष्ट्र के सभी समाजों ने एक साथ मिलकर एक बड़ा मैंडेट हमको दिया है. मुझे लगता है कि आज निश्चित रूप से जो लोग तुष्टीकरण की राजनीति करना चाहते थे, जो डिविजिव पॉलिटिक्स करना चाहते थे, उनको करारा जवाब जनता ने ही दिया है और प्रधानमंत्री जी की बात को लोगों ने यहाँ पर एक्सेप्ट किया है.
महाराष्ट्रातल्या जनतेने विकासाकडे बघून महायुतीला प्रचंड अशा प्रकारचं जे यश प्राप्त करून दिलंय, त्याबद्दल महाराष्ट्रातल्या तमाम जनतेचं महायुतीच्या वतीनं व्यक्तिशः माझ्या वतीनं मी त्यांना मनापासून धन्यवाद देतो, मनापासून आभार मानतो.
The BJP at 132 out of 145 seats. This is a historic victory, way beyond what the BJP would have expected. I want to go across to the party's National General Secretary, a man who comes from Maharashtra. Vinod Tavade now joins us on this broadcast. Tavade sahab, many congratulations. क्या ये जो जीत हुई है महाराष्ट्र में आपकी जो उम्मीद थी, इंटरनल उम्मीद, उससे भी बहुत बढ़ के है?
बिल्कुल साहब, हम 205, 210 तो पक्का सोच रहे थे, लेकिन ये थोड़े और 15-20 सीटें जो हमने कैलकुलेट नहीं की थी वो हमको मिलते जा रही है. और ये जीत जो है, मैं मानता हूं कि जो महायुति सरकार ने पॉलिटिक्स ऑफ डायरेक्ट बेनिफिट एंड पॉलिटिक्स ऑफ इनडायरेक्ट बेनिफिट, मतलब इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चरल डेवलपमेंट, वंदे भारत वगैरह एक तरफ अच्छी तरह करते रहे और डायरेक्ट लाडली बहना है, किसान का बिल माफ करना है, ये दोनों का जो बैलेंस किया, उस कारण ये जीत है. और मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में ये बैलेंसिंग एक्ट महायुति को जिता रहा है.
पोलिंग से ठीक पहले आप पे बहुत संगीन आरोप लगे. वोटर्स को घूस देने के जिस जगह पे आप थे वहां से 10 लाख रुपए कैश बरामद हुआ. वो कितना बड़ा सेटबैक था, क्योंकि इतनी बड़ी कंट्रोवर्सी में आप खुद फंस गए, वो भी चुनाव से ठीक पहले?
नहीं, मेरा मानना है कि मैं तो फाइटर हूं, मिडिल क्लास से आने वाला एक कार्यकर्ता हूं, और इसका नतीजा आज दोनों बाप बेटे ने वसई और नाला सोपारा में देख लिया. उन्होंने गलत तरीके से मेरे विरोध में षड्यंत्र किया, तो उसका नतीजा दोनों ने भुगता और दोनों सीटें अपने हार गए. मुझे लगता है कि राजनीति करनी होती है, एक लेवल पे करनी होती है. दुर्भाग्य से मैंने कभी जिंदगी में मेरे चुनाव में नहीं पैसा बांटा. वहां किसी को मेरे गाड़ी में, मेरे मीटिंग की जगह पे कुछ पैसा नहीं मिला. फिर भी वो बोल रहे हैं, राहुल गांधी बोल रहे हैं, खड़गे जी बोल रहे हैं, ये कहां से राजनीति आई? ये मेरे लिए तो सवाल है. और मेरा तो ऐसे लोगों की मानसिकता के विरोध में लड़ने का मॉरल तो और बूस्ट हो गया.
सबसे बड़ा सवाल इस वक्त यह है कि अगला चीफ मिनिस्टर यूटी का कौन होगा? क्या आपको लगता है कि इतनी बड़ी जीत के बाद बीजेपी का ही नेक्स्ट सीएम होना चाहिए या एकनाथ शिंदे कंटिन्यू करेंगे?
मुझे लगता है राहुल जी, अभी अगले 24-36 घंटे की बात है. एकनाथ जी, देवेंद्र जी, अजीत दादा और केंद्रीय नेतृत्व बीजेपी का साथ बैठेगा, डिस्कस करेगा और नाम पे आएगा बाहर. महायुति का मुख्यमंत्री होगा और सर्वसम्मति से होगा, ये आज मैं आपको पक्का बोलता हूं.
नहीं, क्योंकि सवाल ये है कि अगर कहीं आपने सीएम चेंज कर दिया तो वोटर्स को ये ना लगे कि धोखा हो गया, कि मतलब शक्ल दिखाई आपने शिंदे जी की और किसी और को चीफ मिनिस्टर बनाया। दैट्स व्हाई इट्स अ हॉब्सन चॉइस। काफी मुश्किल ये फैसला है कि अपना आदमी बनाएं या शिंदे जी को कंटिन्यू करें, जिनकी लीडरशिप में आपने ये इलेक्शन लड़ा।
मुझे लगता है कि महायुति का चुनाव हम एकनाथ शिंदे जी के नेतृत्व में लड़े हैं और उसी समय यह कहा था कि सीएम का कैंडिडेट चुनाव के बाद बताएंगे। 2019 में जो हुआ कि चुनाव के समय कुछ कहा और चुनाव के बाद कुछ कहा, ये होगा नहीं। जो होगा वो सर्वसम्मति से चर्चा करके होगा। मुझे याद है 2019 को ऐसे ही चुनाव के रिजल्ट आने के बाद जब देवेंद्र जी ने कहा उद्धव जी को कि हम प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस करेंगे, तो उन्हें हाँ करते समय निकालते शरद पवार से चर्चा करते, प्रेस की नहीं। लेकिन यहाँ भी आपने देखा कि एकनाथ शिंदे, देवेंद्र फडणवीस, अजीत दादा ने साथ आकर जनता को धन्यवाद देने के लिए एक प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस ली है। मतलब मानसिकता बहुत समान अच्छी है।
लोकसभा इलेक्शन में उस दफा आपके हिसाब से क्या फर्क था? वहां पे आपकी अलायंस केमिस्ट्री के चक्कर में वोट ट्रांसफर नहीं हुआ। इस दफा एलाई सेम थे, लेकिन लगा कि केमिस्ट्री चेंज हो गई और उसके चक्कर में महाराष्ट्र का इलेक्टोरल अरिथमेटिक भी चेंज हो गया।
नहीं, एक तो लोकसभा में हमको वोट कम थे, मतलब 0.03% कम थे, सीटें ज्यादा हमारी गई, ये बात सही है। इसमें दो कारण थे। एक तो अब की बार 400 पार इस नारे के कारण जो 4-5% मोदी जी का वोटर था, वो आने वाले मोदी जी है तो क्या हम नहीं गए तो भी चलेगा, ये वोटर इस बार डट कर वोटिंग के लिए बाहर निकला और उसका लाभ महायुति को हुआ, नंबर 1। और लोकसभा में जो फेक नैरेटिव उन्होंने किया था संविधान बदलने का, तो पिछले 6 महीने में हमने गांव लेवल तक जाकर संविधान अगर बदलना था तो हम 14 में भी मेजॉरिटी थे, 19 में भी हमारी मेजॉरिटी थी, उस समय बदल सकते थे। उस समय नहीं बदला तो अब क्यों बदलेंगे, ये समझाने में हम सफल रहे।
इतना बड़ा मैंडेट तावड़े साहब इस दफा आपकी पार्टी और अलायंस का आया है। ये सरकार और पिछली सरकार में आपके हिसाब से क्या फर्क रहे? तो तब काफी अनसर्टेनिटी थी, बीजेपी के पास पूरे नंबर्स नहीं थे। अब आप बहुत कंफर्टेबली प्लेस्ड है। इन नंबर्स का गवर्नेंस पर लोगों को जो आप काम करके देने वाले हैं उसमें क्या इंपैक्ट होगा?
मुझे लगता है कि अभी बहुत ही बड़े मैंडेट वाली गवर्नमेंट इस महाराष्ट्र स्टेट के लिए एक अच्छा विकास का रोल मॉडल पूरे देश के लिए खड़ा कर सकती है। और माननीय मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में महाराष्ट्र का विकास बड़ी रफ्तार से अगले 5 साल में बढ़ेगा, यह मैं पक्का मानता हूं। क्योंकि अब तो स्थिति ऐसी है कि विपक्ष का नेता भी इनको संविधान के तहत चुनने का अधिकार भी नहीं होगा। और जो बड़े बड़े बोलने वाले लोग जो है राज्यसभा में, वो अपने पार्टी से जा नहीं पाएंगे, उनको आपस के कुछ वोट लेके जाना पड़ेगा। तो ये महाविकास आघाड़ी आगे कितनी टिकेगी, ये भी अभी सवाल है।
उद्धव सेना और एनसीपी शरद पवार के पास काफी कम एमएलए हैं, उम्मीद से बहुत कम। क्या आपका दरवाजा खुला है इनके लिए? क्या आप चाहते हैं कि एक बार हमेशा के लिए इन पार्टियों को खत्म कर दिया जाए?
नहीं, हम पार्टी खत्म करने वाले लोग नहीं हैं। मेरा मानना यह है कि आपका क्षेत्र का विकास, आपका विचार, जैसे उद्धव जी 2019 में अपने हिंदुत्व के विचार को छोड़कर हिंदुत्व का विरोध करने वाले कांग्रेस के साथ गए, सावरकर जी का विरोध करने वाले कांग्रेस के साथ गए, बाला साहब ठाकरे जी को हिंदू हृदय सम्राट नहीं कह सकते हैं, ऐसे राहुल जी के साथ गए। ऐसा कोई हम अपेक्षित नहीं करते हैं।
आप बीजेपी के नेशनल जनरल सेक्रेटरी हैं, महाराष्ट्र में जीत सेलिब्रेट कर रहे हैं, लेकिन झारखंड में काफी हार हुई एनडीए की, बीजेपी का परफॉर्मेंस भी बहुत कमजोर था, तो झारखंड की स्क्रिप्ट इतनी क्यों गड़बड़ा गई?
बिल्कुल, हमारे लिए झारखंड का भी रिजल्ट बहुत ही हम एक्सपेक्ट नहीं कर रहे थे। काफी वहाँ ग्रासरूट लेवल पर काफी चीजें हमने की थी। थोड़ा एनालिसिस करना पड़ेगा कि कहाँ कमी रह गई कि हम झारखंड में अच्छी सफलता नहीं पाए।
Okay, joining us now, and I'll be joined by many more newsmakers in the hours to come. Thank you very much, Vinod Thackeray ji, for joining us. Really appreciate you taking out time. Amitabh Tiwari, our political strategist and analyst, joins us. In the studio with us also at this time is Seema Malik, spokesperson of the Sharad Pawar faction of the NCP. Pushpraj Deshpande is a spokesperson of the Congress, author of the book Bharat Jodo Yatra. Zafar Islam is the national spokesperson of the BJP, one of the leading commentators of the party on economic affairs. Rahul Kanal joins as spokesperson of the Shinde faction of the Shiv Sena. Rahul, to you first. The biggest question, of course, does Eknath Shinde continue as chief minister? Or are you reconciled that given this brute mandate, the BJP is likely to want their man as chief minister and you'll just have to play second fiddle to that?
Rahulji, firstly, this victory purely goes out to Maharashtra and our voters. And as a party worker, for sure, I would always like the captain to take the next innings ahead. And but it is purely with the Mahayuti leadership to decide who takes the berth again.
Amitabh Tiwari, what's your sense? What are the pros and cons of continuing with Shinde or switching to someone like a Fadnavis?
See, it's a big mandate. So there is, of course, BJP now on its own winning 125 and Devendra Fadnavis.
132 now.
132 now. And Devendra Fadnavis and the entire BJP ecosystem, including RSS, has contributed to this victory. However, there are two questions now in front of BJP. Do you replace a sitting chief minister under whose leadership you fought the election and won 230 seats? Shinde, across many surveys we've seen, is fairly popular and people see him as a common man who has risen up the ranks, just like Prime Minister Narendra Modi, from the position of an auto rickshawala to the top position of chief minister. Plus, he is a Maratha. Now we have seen that even in Marathwada, the BJP has reversed the trend and they have won many more seats than the Mahavikas Aghadi. So a Maratha plus a sitting chief minister who has a common man image and is fairly popular. So difficult to replace him. However, there will be pressure from the BJP workers to have their own chief minister because it has done fairly well. In fact, BJP plus others might be able to form the government even without the help of the
and
other
nothing
partners
speaks
which are
more loudly
NCP, AP and
than political strength.
Shinde.
Pushpraj Deshpande, you know, the India alliance was 30 versus 17 in the Lok Sabha election. This is the most dramatic turnaround in fortunes. It's almost as if this was your election to win and the BJP NDA has been able to pull victory from the jaws of defeat. And what a famous victory this is.
Hi Rahul, thank you for having me on your show. Today is genuinely bittersweet for the Congress. Even though we have won Jharkhand and some by-polls in Karnataka, Kerala and Rajasthan, we have lost Maharashtra. I mean, Congress could be 1-all when it comes to state polls. And I do congratulate the Mahayuti government for their performance. But for me personally, because I was working in Maharashtra for the last 4 months, the sting is especially sharp. We accept all verdicts humbly, and where needed, we will go back to the drawing board and do a SWOT analysis. Obviously, the most obvious question everyone is asking is how we got it wrong in Maharashtra. But I genuinely feel that the ground was ripe for a change. I mean, just consider the fact that farm distress is high, municipal corporations are defunct, 27 of them. Women's security is an issue. Retail inflation in Maharashtra was at the highest in 14 months. And if you think about it, the Mahayuti launched Ladki Behan Yojana in August 2024 only to combat economic distress. The point I'm trying to make is that we did read the ground right, but we lost the campaign. We failed to capitalize on the real socio-economic issues facing the people. And of course, we failed to effectively communicate our vision for the state. And I do feel personally that we excessively focused on issues that have had their day, namely the Gaddar and Jod-Tod politics that worked in Lok Sabha but didn't have traction today. Secondly, we cannot deny the fact that we were outspent by the BJP. BJP's cash transfers, whether direct, especially the Ladki Behan Yojana, which was facilitated by the Election Commission, which delayed polls so 3 tranches could be rolled out, or the BJP's alleged indirect cash transfers. You remember the BJP leaders
Zafar
in
Islam,
Bombay and
respond to this. You know, Manikam Tagore, now Deshpande, many are alleging BJP ne paise ke dam pe jeet liya. There is money power, whether it's Ladli Behan or other money that was given to voters. That's how you won. How do you respond to this, Zafar Islam?
First of all, they must respond to the people what they had promised in Himachal Pradesh, Karnataka. On what basis they had made those kind of promises, even though they were not in power. We are in power. We exactly did what the responsibility was given by the people to when you are serving them as a government in the government, then it is the responsibility of the government to do something or to come up with some welfare scheme to ensure that the benefits goes to the common man. And everything what we have done, like them, we have done the calculation, we made a budgetary provision. So it's not that freebies we are the practice of freebies we are following. We have made announcement what was needed for the section of the society, and this is what we have delivered, because that was something they were expecting. That was something
a ripple effect,
that is something
and it sets the expectations for other states. Zafar Islam,
but what is important?
You understand? Yes. No, but that's the point.
Just
this sets the expectations for other states as well. Everybody will expect the same now.
No, but see, Rahul, I also told you in the afternoon that the differentiating factor between us and them, that we are in the government, we are delivering welfare scheme. We didn't promise anything before coming to the power that we will come out with the Ladli Bahan scheme, or for that matter any other welfare scheme. We will not go to any election, even general election. We didn't make any announcement. We said no, we'll stay away from making such announcement unless we are in the government. Then we will come up with a scheme, and we will ensure that we understand each and every pros and cons of making announcement, and with how funds will be raised, and how the budgetary provision will be made before making any such announcement. Having said that, the biggest vacuum in Mahavikas Aghadi was the leadership. We had a leader in the form of the Honorable Prime Minister, where all the three pillars, whether it's Fadnavis ji, whether it's Shinde ji, whether it's Ajit Pawar ji, was committed to the guidance of the Honorable Prime Minister. So we had a leader, his vision was something which was acceptable and being followed by all these pillars of Mahayuti. Unlike them, every day they were fighting. And you said there's a Maharashtra Raut. Actually, Sanjay Raut is responsible for Maharashtra Raut for Mahavikas Aghadi, because he is the one, he's a loudmouth, he has a verbal diarrhea. Every morning he will get up, and with the few channels around him, he will make few false allegations, he will abuse Mahayuti, he will say...
Rahul Gandhi has tweeted, I just want to take our viewers through what he's saying.
People of Maharashtra have given a befitting reply.
का इंडिया को विशाल जनादेश देने के लिए दिल से धन्यवाद। मुख्यमंत्री हेमंत सोरेन जी, कांग्रेस और जेएमएम के सभी कार्यकर्ताओं को इस विजय के लिए हार्दिक बधाई और शुभकामना। प्रदेश में गठबंधन की यह जीत संविधान के साथ जल जंगल जमीन की रक्षा की जीत है। महाराष्ट्र के नतीजे अप्रत्याशित हैं और इसका हम विस्तार से विश्लेषण करेंगे। The results of Maharashtra are unprecedented and we will examine them deeply. प्रदेश के सभी मतदाता भाई बहनों को उनके समर्थन और सभी कार्यकर्ताओं को उनकी मेहनत के लिए धन्यवाद। The Congress at this moment seeming quite flabbergasted with what happened in Maharashtra. They thought it will be a tight fight. They were thinking there's a possibility the UT may be in front, Rajat, but this is the tsunami that Yogendra Yadav was talking about, except it didn't happen in Haryana, it happened in Maharashtra.
I think, I was just trying to understand what's the mood in Maharashtra. The opposition is shell-shocked. I mean, they're not speaking over phone. They don't know how to react. They don't know how to respond to how to ascribe the loss to, what reasons to ascribe it to, how to face your workers and your supporters, because, the leaders are right now faceless, and I think rightly so. If one were to introspect, and over the past 2-3 hours when we got a break, we were introspecting ourselves as to what really went wrong. I mean, if you take a step back and look at the entire campaign, you'll yourself realize that Uddhav Thackeray was throughout the election was battling, very basic things, that why are you going against your core ideals of your father? And throughout the elections, he kept giving flimsy reasons, one after the other, to Rajdeep and to you, Rahul. There is no clear answer. He cannot look into Shiv Sena's own supporters and workers and his party's core voters, look eye to eye and say that what he is doing is actually core to his politics, his father's politics. And that lack of confidence reflects, because you lose confidence, because you know what you're doing is you're bluffing to make up some excuse so that the Aghadi somehow seems reasonable. The problem is that if you divorce away from your core ideals, you start experimenting, you will end up in trouble. But look at UT. I mean, we were consistently saying that BJP needs to ensure that there is ideological consistency. even at the cost of directly opposing people like Nawab Malik, BJP tried to ensure that there is no compromise on what it stands for. Agar batenge to katenge is what BJP stands for ideologically, no matter what the consequences are, no matter what NCP stays, goes, whomsoever they put up. This is what our core ideals are, and there will be no compromise on it. And this is what charges the base. And the BJP's base, which went quiet, they are anyway winning, why should the RSS and all these Swayamsevaks would have thought that why put in that extra bit of effort? I think what BJP successfully was doing through this election was really giving a reason to its ideological base that we mean business, we are serious about what we say and what we stand for, and no matter what consequences it may project, we will stand by those core ideals.
Seema Malik from the Sharad Pawar faction of the NCP now joins us. Seema, are you concerned that what is left of the Pawar faction of the NCP may soon also be gone? In the way that this election has ended, it will be very difficult. You've got just about 10 MLAs left. It's very easy for them to go and say, okay, that's where the future lies. They all, bow to the rising sun, which in this case is Ajit Pawar.
See, Rahul, first of all, I would like to congratulate the BJP for their grand victory. And as you know, it was a bad day for us. We never expected something like this. And we fought the election wholeheartedly. We worked hard. And of course, we are a little depressed, but we have not lost hopes, Nirasha hai, par hatasha nahi hai. And it is very, it's very too soon that they will leave us and they will go there. Everybody is not like that, I'm telling you this thing. And we are also staying in our party and we will stay in our own party. So there are people who have got a loyalty and I think they will, so it's very...
Sheila Bhatt joins us. Sheila ji, do you think that NCP, Pawar, Sharad Pawar and the UBT, what's left of it, will stick together? Do you think it's inevitable that the remaining MLAs will also leave?
No, I think a lot of churning will take place. And I doubt if Sharad Pawar and Uddhav Thackeray's elected MLA would not like to join the government. Because it seems what? It is obvious that this government is a stable government. And when the stable government is there, there are obvious reasons for joining it. And Prakash Ambedkar also 2 days back said that he would like to join.
But there's no need for him now.
Yes, but no, the thrust of the matter is that they all want, these days, it's a days of development, days of aspirations, days of living fast life for middle class people. Everybody wants to grow, everybody wants to earn money. At that time, who would like opposition politics, and that to be a weak opposition politics? So your question is that whether, and I consider this Maharashtra election result very differently in that sense that there are two national parties, Congress and BJP. They always wanted for decades to cut to size regional forces because they are nationalists. They think they don't understand broader issues. They are too regional, too local. They don't understand defense and other issues, security and strategic issues. So they take different stand. So from that point of view also, if you see Maharashtra result, it's very, it's understandable how...
Okay, Aishwarya Paliwal joins us. She's at the BJP headquarters. It's Happy New Year. Come early, Aishwarya. For the BJP, there were some jalebis in the morning. I hope you got your teeth into some of those. What's happening at the BJP headquarters? What time will the Prime Minister come and how is the party planning to celebrate, Aishwarya?
Well, Rahul, let me start by answering the question about Prime Minister. From what we are hoping in the next half an hour, Prime Minister Modi will be at the Bharatiya Janata Party headquarters. You are also speaking about the kind of support that we are seeing here, the supporters who have come. People are all decked up. Let me tell you, JP Nadda, Rahul, that's the BJP president who's coming, and the people who are ready here, all of them, this person who's decked up as Lord Hanuman, he's come here. He wants a glimpse of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and he is hoping that he'll get a glimpse of the Prime Minister. Most of the supporters are now sitting in the front row. Prime Minister Modi's cutouts have been put out, and let me tell you, Maharashtra and Jharkhand, that's the big banner that has been put out. All the people now are hoping that they'll get a glimpse of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. JP Nadda, the BJP president, has reached The visuals that we are showing you, this is of JP Nadda. The BJP president has reached the BJP headquarters, and now in the next half an hour, we'll see Prime Minister also coming here. The supporters now waiting to hear what the Prime Minister has to say and to catch a glimpse of Prime Minister Modi.
Okay, Yogendra Yadav joins us. That's JP Nadda being welcomed by the BJP leaders. This is also where his term ends, Rajat. As the BJP president, what a glorious, historic way to end his term. You know, it's an important position in his political career, and he is going out on a high.
This is what I was mentioning. I think, he was tasked towards, the last part of his illustrious campaign as the party's president. He was tasked with 4 virtually impossible tasks of winning Haryana, Jammu Kashmir, Maharashtra and Jharkhand. He was, pitted up against a lot of odds. And what a complete turnaround that BJP has showcased and discipline that the BJP has showcased under the leadership of JP Nadda over the past 4 months or so. They have not just won Haryana, they have ensured that, in Jammu and Kashmir, they've registered a significant presence. Now they have a thumping majority here. Jharkhand still, needs to be sort of unpacked for the BJP. Babulal Marandi continues to be unlucky that way, that he's not able to...
No, but many of these people are Delhi BJP. I don't want to take names, but when he's telling them, "Bhai, unhone run bana diya, ab tumhari bari hai, tum mat kuda karna." I think that's really the messaging that, boss, now you're really Sheila. But that's the Kamzor Kadi, the Delhi BJP unit. And how do you kind of get this Lagan 11 to go out and then take on Kejriwal? Because if after winning under these odds against the Maha Vikas Aghadi in Maharashtra, then the Delhi BJP really needs to buck up.
But now, after Maharashtra, all other states are very difficult for BJP and no smooth
Like which
run.
one? Delhi and Bihar also?
Delhi, Bihar, UP.
No,
Everyone here.
Today we've seen that they are winning all the 4 seats in Bihar by polls. There is a new player which is spoiling the chances of RJD-led alliance. So there is a new player which is there to catch the anti-incumbency votes, and that is leading to a split of votes. That's also happening. In Delhi, BJP already has 170. So they have a good chance to try to
after
defeat
euphoria of
Kejriwal.
Maharashtra settles down, I think there will be many more reasons to understand this result better. Like, already NCP was a tired party. Sharad Pawar is 83. Already Uddhav Thackeray had lost the grip of the party. A lot of other things were there. All circumstances came together to give BJP such a big result.
No, that
so
is
it is
true.
not just BJP or just not Nadda's leadership or anything like that.
No, but I'm not saying it is because of his leadership. I'm saying that he wanted to end it on a high, and he was able to do that because, look at the odds that were going against him on all these 4 states. And I think under his leadership, and largely speaking, credit has to go to him also to some extent.
No, the captain gets the credit, run kisi ne bhi banaya ho. So he's, and also from Naddaji's perspective, this is where his innings as party president ends, and it ends on a glorious high. 240 was a bit of a hit. It happened on his watch as captain of the team. Now he can say, I won you Maharashtra and did this in style. Well, I'm joined now by one of the country's foremost political analysts, Yogendra Yadav, who famously or infamously, depending on which side of the political prism you were on, was looking for a tsunami in Haryana. There wasn't a tsunami in Haryana. There was one in Maharashtra though. And yet, like in Haryana, where nobody could quite predict the result, in Maharashtra though, the extent of this tsunami couldn't be predicted. Dr. Yadav, welcome. What do you make of this historic victory for the Mahayuti in Maharashtra?
Thanks, Rahul. Before your viewers complain, let me state very clearly that I'm no longer a political analyst. I'm a political activist. I'm very much involved with Bharat Jodo Abhiyan, which had supported the MBA in Maharashtra and supported the India coalition in Jharkhand. So I don't claim to be one. And just for your record, I had made no formal forecast for Haryana, and I had repeatedly said so before the election. I'm not making a forecast. But the journalists like you coax me, "Arey kuch to boliye," and I said, "Sadak pe har koi ye kehta hai ki Congress ki aandhi hai." And of course, then you start questioning, when did your forecast go wrong? So let's forget all that. On Maharashtra specifically, I think Maharashtra is a very major setback for India coalition, for Congress, for all of us who believe in the vision of a democratic Republic India. It's a very big setback. much bigger than Haryana. Haryana has been more than offset by Jharkhand, but Maharashtra stands out. I must say that I was not surprised by the victory of the BJP coalition. I am surprised, though, by the staggering margin of something like 15% when I noticed it last. That's almost spooky. But the fact is that after the Lok Sabha election in Maharashtra, which appeared to be a major victory for India coalition, actually the gap was only 1%. I do not think it is a victory. It is necessarily a shift of major public opinion, but it is a very significant change of political tactics. The BJP and allies started working from day one. They had a game plan. The opposition, that is to say the MBA, was rather complacent, had no game plan. And in a situation of this kind, when you have when one side is up with very systematic plan, this is like the old Australian cricket team versus the old Indian cricket team. That is the kind of difference you had. The Mahayuti had 4 parts of the game plan that it had. One was liberal use of state resources. They used something like 1 lakh crore rupees in the last 2 months. Number 2 was social strategy, that is to pit OBC against the Marathas and to bring it the Mahadalits against the upper aspect of the Dalits. The third component was to fragment the elections with the help of large number of candidates, dummy parties and everything. And fifth was the Batenge Katenge tax promise. Sorry.
No, I hear you well. Please go on. We're picking up some ambient noise from the BJP headquarters, but you can go on. But if it was 30-17 in the Lok Sabha elections, the question is, how did the Maha Vikas Aghadi botch up their chances so badly? How did they manage to pull such a big defeat from the jaws of victory?
That's a very good question. And I think everyone, including people like me who have supported them, should ask this question very frankly in a straight way. To my mind, Maha Vikas Aghadi had no game plan. They had no plan to counter any of the 4 things that I mentioned. In my own assessment, the Batenge Katenge communal rhetoric was not so central to their victory. It did not quite work here, nor did it work very much in Jharkhand. But the other 3 bits worked very well. The use of state resources for the Ladli Behna scheme, Ladki Behna scheme in Maharashtra, the social coalition strategy, and the political fragmentation strategy. And on top of these 3, there is undeniably BJP RSS organizational strength with its capacity to micromanage. The MBA had no response to each of these. The minor thing that they did was that, all right, on the Maratha question, they prevented the fragmentation of Maratha voters by managing Manoj Jagre. But that's a very small thing. What is your response to the OBC issue? There was none. And instead of thinking about how to defeat the BJP, most of the MBA leadership was involved in trying to think about who would become the chief minister as and when the MBA wins, which was remote. So this is clearly a defeat that they should.
But there's another point as well. The fact that Rahul Gandhi had one trick that worked for him, which was the Samvidhan Khatre Mein Hai, bogey which he had, and he kept waiving the constitution in an assembly election. That also potentially didn't click. They tried the whole Gujarat versus Maharashtra tactic, that didn't work. They tried the whole Dharavi, Adani tactic, that didn't work, Sheila Bhatt. And they waived the constitution in an assembly context. We were like, I don't think this is what this is about. So voters have more finessing than Rahul Gandhi seems to appreciate.
Yeah, because I think people don't want to live in illusion. They think even if some government we have some problem with them and their leaders, even if they seem to be delivering something, then they will go for it. I think direct bank transfer is a event which has changed the game of politics. DBT.
But I also think this entire Adani issue, people see through it, because on one side you have Revanth Reddy, who is non-stop giving Adani and calling for Adani investment. In fact, the government of Telangana donated 100 crore rupees to Adani's foundation. So on one side, you are doing all this. I mean, Gehlot and Bhupesh Baghel, attracting investments from Adani. And here you have one leader out of the blue. He wants to completely put all the blame against Adani. It doesn't work like that.
Of Bofors, because what all Rajiv Gandhi suffered. So he thought that he is doing Bofors on NDA, but he forgets that this man is an Indian-born man. Bofors is a foreign company.
See, Rahul Gandhi is not speaking in the language of the disgruntled voter, as you mentioned. The disgruntled voter had issues of inflation, agriculture,
he should have been doing
suicides.
Absolutely.
He's speaking about Adani, say, ek hai to safe hai, caste census.
No.
This status of privilege. So, Rahul, listen to what Uddhav Thackeray says. He says, cannot believe Maharashtra will behave with me this way. What kind of an attitude is this?
No.
वो बपौती है क्या आपकी? कि आपके हिसाब से वो काम करेगी? See, this is, they take the entire people as if they are their slaves and they have to respond to the masters according to their likings.
Rahul,
This doesn't work like that.
Yeah. To be fair to Congress and Rahul Gandhi both, I don't think he should not have taken up the Adani issue or any such issue which we think is not working. But any political party and a leader should pick up the issue, take it to the logical conclusion, and that is what convert it into votes. If you are not able to do that, then don't make it an election plan. It cannot be your primary election plan. So, like Bofors, VP Singh,
we have Pushpa Deshpande, who's been part of Rahul Gandhi's Bharat Jodo Yatra, written a book on it as well. So here's the thing, you're waiving the constitution, which ultimately just turns out to be a notepad, not even the real constitution. And then you're saying Samvidhan Khatre mein in an assembly context. I mean, I think the voters have seen through everything that was attempted, and the MV is at 49. The Congress just at 16. The Congress is lesser than the UBT. I mean, politically, it can't get more embarrassing than this.
Rahul, the constitution that Rahul Gandhi waived was an actual constitution. What you're referring to is a diary that was passed around. That's a different thing. See, Rahul Gandhi is a national leader, and he does need to raise both state level and national level issues, talking about the caste census, Samvidhan, the impact of the Adani indictment on India's economy, the Manipur issue, among others, may not directly impact Maharashtra. But such issues...
Let me put that question to Yogendra Yadav. You're saying he needs to raise national issues, but Yogendra Yadav, the fact is that Samvidhan Khatre mein hai connected with voters in the Lok Sabha context. It seemed to me from the outside that because that's a trick that worked for him, he thought I can do it again. But a political check, as you know well, can be encashed only once you've encashed that check. He tried to encash the same check at another bank, an assembly bank this time, and that bank and its tellers rejected it, saying, ye yahan nahi chalega. That was a Lok Sabha plank.
Thanks, Rahul. I'm sorry. I'm in remote rural Gujarat and the electricity went off. And I'm getting too much of a PC sound, so can you request them not to speak? To my mind, Lok Sabha election was a great victory for the Constitution. However, ordinary people did not vote on the issue of Constitution. Ordinary people did not vote directly on democracy, secularism. Ordinary people spoke on the issues of their own day-to-day problems. And that is what the opposition needed to focus on. I'm sorry, I'm just getting too much of your PC sound. Can you request them to disconnect from that? I can't hear you.
Okay, I hope it's fixed now. Is it fixed now? Is it okay?
I think I'm getting all your PTR talks. My apologies.
Okay, I'm going to give it a second. Keep speaking in the hope that this gets fixed. Is it fixed now? Okay, give us a moment as we try and set that right. We'll come back in just a moment. But Amitabh Tiwari, this idea that as a national leader that Deshpande makes, he has to speak about national issues, but he has to speak about issues that the voters there want. For example, if he'd spoken about kharche pe charcha, cotton, soybean, take up issues that matter to people, then you're speaking their language.
Yes, so unemployment, price rise, agriculture distress, these are all national issues which he did not speak on. Adani, Ambani, constitution khatre mein hai, caste census pitch, all these issues might resonate with the national audience or might get him some headlines, but that is clearly not clicking with the rural audience or the audience in Maharashtra.
That's the problem. No, but Deshpande, here's the thing. He tried that Rafale fighter aircraft charge. It didn't click. He tried the Dharavi charge. Even in that area, look at Mumbai. I mean, it's the Mahayuti that is won. So he keeps firing these blanks. They don't connect. And yet he thinks he's on the right track. He's convinced he's on the right track.
No, so what I was trying to make, the point I was trying to make is that every national leader experiments when raising national issues. We never know what will catch the public's imagination. We all do that. The fact of the matter is that should have been coupled with local issues. You're perfectly right. We didn't get our campaign right. We could have countered this polarizing meta-narrative that the Mahayuti spearheaded by focusing on local issues that sway elections substantively, the retail inflation is very high, farmers' suicide is very high, women security is a problem. We could have been much more, municipal issues are a major problem here. I know for a fact that sewage, bad roads, petty corruption have increased. We need to focus on that. And I think that will become, when we go back to the drawing board, that will be one key takeaway that we will focus on when we go into the
you're saying netas need to experiment. I mean, a question also asked is, how long do you keep experimenting before you finally crack the experiment? Yogendra Yadav ji, the fact that Rahul Gandhi is speaking about the constitution, I mean, for example, if he'd been speaking about kharche pe charcha, cotton, soybean, farmer issues, agrarian distress, I mean, there was anti-incumbency to be tapped into, and yet the leader of the opposition is not able to do it, and the Congress leader is calling this an experiment, saying he needs to experiment, try till you succeed, throw a few darts, maybe one hits.
Well, that may be Congress's view. That's not my view. My impression is that I would not credit Rahul Gandhi with the success of the India coalition in Jharkhand, nor would I think Rahul Gandhi is principally to be blamed for the failure in Maharashtra. It is the job of national leaders to raise national issues, and it is the issues, and for local leaders to raise local issues. To my mind, what has gone wrong is principally not what the national leaders said. This is true of Congress. This is also true of the BJP. I don't think BJP national leadership has done something dramatically wrong to get Jharkhand, to lose Jharkhand. To my mind, principally it was a state election. More than a state election, this became a local election. And BJP's great success in Maharashtra was actually to turn it hyper local. What it did was that it thought of how this government was formed, the fraudulent manner in which the government was formed, was actually not an election issue. The MVA failed to turn it into an election issue, and the BJP successfully managed to erase it. That is where the election was won.
So look at how things have changed. Earlier it was said BJP wins when it's a national election. That's Amit Shah. Look at the roar of applause that he gets as he comes in. He's delighted. This is a big victory for the BJP. He's the man in Marathwada and Vidarbha. We've been going constantly, going more to Marathwada and Vidarbha than he was to Mumbai, spending time there, now delighted. But the fact is that they micromanaged this election, and the MVA seemed to have been so certain that they were winning that they didn't make the effort required to win, Yogendra Yadav.
On that, you're absolutely right. I think the MVA leadership did not simply focus on, they did not actually get their act together. Where was the MVA manifesto? They had some 5 declarations, but there was no common manifesto. Where was the one face? To my mind, they could have actually projected Uddhav Thackeray. That may not have been the bad stretch, but they did not. But they were anxious about each other. Where was the collaborative, a common strategy? There was none. That is, I will get credit. I'm sure neither you nor the BJP workers will blame Mr. Amit Shah for what happened in Jharkhand, where the Bangladeshi, the completely fake issue of Bangladeshi Ghuspaitias was raised again and again, obviously with his Ashirwad. But then, victory has, at a moment like this, people don't remember that. To my mind, now that we are doing analysis and we are not doing any BJP or Congress publicity. The fact is that national leadership on both sides was relatively inconspicuous in this election. Mr. Modi was not a very active campaigner. From both sides, national leadership was inconspicuous. But in the last instance, BJP-led national leadership will get credit for Maharashtra victory. In the last instance, BJP leadership should get the blame for Jharkhand defeat, where they had actually won the Lok Sabha election and lost in the assembly election. Similarly, in the last instance, India coalition leadership, but specifically Congress, should get the responsibility. National leadership, they should take the responsibility, because when they saw that MVA in Maharashtra was unable to get its act together, it was their duty, it was their responsibility to step in and say, don't fight, don't do all these small things, don't be so complacent, you can actually lose. They did not do that.
Yogendra ji, the next big battle in Indian politics is the battle in Delhi. That's a party which you know well, the Aam Aadmi Party, you've been a part of it. The BJP is now out of power for a very long time. And the 10 years of anti-incumbency against Kejriwal and the Aam Aadmi Party. At this moment, how do you weigh the Delhi election?
Rahul, I will not commit the same mistake, because if I say a word, 2 months later, you would say, you made a forecast, you were funded.
No, I'm not asking for a forecast, I'm asking for your analysis.
My analysis, as I had said earlier to Rahul, is that the real big election is Bihar. If Aam Aadmi Party wins in Delhi, that's unlikely to change the overall mood of the nation. And if they lose Delhi and BJP wins, that's unlikely to change the overall mood of the nation or peace.
Okay, he's in a rural part of Gujarat. Remember, Rahul Gandhi said we'll win Gujarat in 2017. He was, of course, at that time straight off the bat of the 2024 verdict, and I think they were getting carried away. So instead of trying to focus on Haryana, Maharashtra, they already hata dunga, phek dunga, ukhad dunga. So just stay focused. Play one ball at a time, stay focused. Just because you've reached 50 doesn't mean you'll reach 300. So I think that's the lesson there for those who are getting carried away. We'll slip into a break. The Prime Minister will be at the BJP headquarters soon. There'll be a big victory parade, a big celebration, a massive, unprecedented victory for the Mahayuti and the BJP in Maharashtra, and a big victory for the India Alliance in Jharkhand. We're tracking all of that when we come back on the other side of a quick break series.
Hey Google, how do I do a wing liner? AI Ray. Flip the script with the new Motorola Razr 50 series.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Razr 50 Ultra comes with Google Gemini.
Hi, I am AI anchor Sana, bringing the top headlines for you, presented by Motorola. Big blow to MVA in Maharashtra as Mahayuti crosses majority mark. Jharkhand Assembly election results declared, Hemant Soren set to form government again. Supreme Court issues notice to CBI and ED on Manish Sisodia's bail relaxation plea in Delhi excise policy case.
Hey Google, how do I do a wing liner? AI Ray. Flip the script with the new Motorola Razr 50 series.
Hello, Moto.
presented by Parul University, Vadodara, Gujarat. Co-presented by Aapka Joy, Bharat Ka Joy, Joy E-Bike, Mahindra Electric Origin SUVs.
Watching our live and continuing coverage of the Maharashtra and Jharkhand results. Lots of the key newsmakers joining us. A big celebration planned at the BJP headquarters this evening. We'll be going across live when the Prime Minister comes there. We're getting these live images of the build-up. In the meanwhile, let me take you through the headlines I'm tracking at 7. It's a Mahayuti tsunami in Maharashtra. BJP secures its third consecutive victory in the state. Shinde Sena gets more seats than Maha Vikas Aghadi combined. Ajit Pawar redeems himself with NCP's performance. PM Modi hails the Mahayuti victory, says development and good governance is one. PM declares united we will soar higher. He also congratulates Hemant Soren on his Jharkhand victory. Race for the Chief Minister's post in Maharashtra intensifies. Who will it be, Eknath Shinde or Devendra Fadnavis? Ajit Pawar's wife says the NCP Neta should be made CM. After poll rout, Maha Vikas Aghadi cries EVM conspiracy. Aditya Thackeray says it needs to be investigated if people or EVMs gave the verdict. Sanjay Raut says the results are unbelievable. JMM-led India Alliance wins Jharkhand. Hemant Soren set to return as CM, thanks his wife and star campaigner Kalpana Soren for the victory. BJP Alliance wins 7 out of 9 seats in the Uttar Pradesh by-polls. UP CM Yogi Adityanath credits PM Modi for the victory, says "Ek rahenge to safe rahenge" message resonated with voters. Priyanka Gandhi Vadra makes a smashing debut as Lok Sabha MP, wins Wayanad by over 4 lakh votes. Priyanka thanks her brother Rahul for his support. For the first time, an alliance has crossed 200 seats in Maharashtra. It's also the biggest victory for a pre-poll coalition in Maharashtra since 1972. And the worst ever performance for the Sena, UBT, NCP of Sharad Pawar and for the Congress. Take a look at what happened through the day today.
Historic landslide for the Mahayuti in Maharashtra. The BJP-led alliance scripting a never-before poll super smash with a brute majority, leaving the Maha Vikas Aghadi far, far behind.
महाराष्ट्र की जनता ने जो अप्रत्याशित इस प्रकार की जीत हमको दी है, महाराष्ट्र के सभी समाज के सभी लोगों ने एकता दिखाते हुए महाराष्ट्र में मतदान किया है। मैं विशेष रूप से हमारी लाडली बहनों का, लाडले भाइयों का, लाडले किसानों का, सभी का बहुत आभार व्यक्त करना चाहता हूं।
लाडकी बहीण असेल, लाडका भाऊ असेल, लाडका शेतकरी असेल, महायुतीवर प्रेम दाखवलं आणि त्यामुळे मी सगळ्या मतदारांना मनापासून धन्यवाद देतो आणि त्यांना एवढ्या मोठ्या ऐतिहासिक विजयासाठी साष्टांग दंडवत घातला पाहिजे.
The Mahayuti is riding high on its flagship pro-women scheme, Ladki Bahin and SOPs for farmers. Equally helped by Prime Minister Narendra Modi's "Ek hai to safe hai" war cry.
प्रधानमंत्री जी ने एक जो नारा दिया था, एक है तो सेफ है, सब समाज को साथ में लाने वाली जो बात प्रधानमंत्री जी ने कही थी, महाराष्ट्र के लोगों ने उसको रिस्पॉन्ड किया है और महाराष्ट्र के सभी समाजों ने एक साथ मिलकर एक बड़ा मैंडेट हमको दिया है.
The BJP's stellar show apart, it was the high strike rate of allies, CM Shinde's Shiv Sena and Ajit Pawar's NCP, which led to the never-before-seen tally for Mahayuti. While Shinde beat Uddhav in Sena legacy battle, Ajit Pawar eclipsed patriarch Sharad Pawar.
This has been a great moment for us and for the entire Mahayuti. Everybody worked together and our schemes were so beneficial for the people, and especially women voters came out in large numbers. So we are very happy, of course, and I think this has been one of the most spectacular victories in the history of Maharashtra.
Massive celebrations erupted outside Devendra Fadnavis, Eknath Shinde and Ajit Pawar's homes. This mandate is historic because this is the first time an alliance has won over 200 out of 288 seats. BJP with 85% strike rate secured more than double the seats compared to Agadi alliance put together, making it the biggest win for a pre-poll coalition since 1972. With a little about 10% strike rate, it was worst ever performance by Sharad Pawar. The Congress also singed the alliance it led with a drastically low strike rate. With a super massive mandate, it's the Mahayuti tsunami in Maharashtra. Bureau Report, India Today.
The man of the moment for the BJP is Devendra Fadnavis. After the Lok Sabha elections, he declared that the party will return much stronger, and he's now delivered on that promise, calling himself the modern-day Abhimanyu, who's fought his way out of the trap the enemies had laid.
महाराष्ट्र में चूंकि एक प्रकार से भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सारी जिम्मेदारी महाराष्ट्र में एक लीडर के रूप में मेरे ऊपर थी, तो ये जो हमारा महाराष्ट्र में डिबैकल हुआ है या जो हमें एक प्रकार से हार मिली है, हमारी सीटें कम हुई है, इसकी पूरी जिम्मेदारी ये मेरी है। मैं इस जिम्मेदारी को स्वीकारता हूं। मैं भागने वाला आदमी तो हूं नहीं और जोरों से मैदान में उतरूंगा। मैं आधुनिक अभिमन्यु हूं, चक्रव्यूह को भेदना जानता हूं। हमने चक्रव्यूह को भेदा है। इस विजय में मेरा बहुत छोटा उसमें मैं समझता हूं कि सहभाग है। एक ये हमारी जो पूरी टीम है, इस टीम ने इस विजय को लाया है। हम सब लोग एक साथ रहे, एक साथ मिलकर हमने ये काम किया, इसलिए मैं ऐसा मानता हूं कि इस एकता का ये विजय है। जो हमारी महायुति थी, अभेद्य इस प्रकार की महायुति थी, महायुति का ये विजय है, ऐसा मैं मानता हूं।
Shaina NC joins us from the Eknath Shinde Sena. Do I call you BJP or you just fought? How do I explain this? She fought on the Shinde Sena ticket, is actually from the BJP. So I'm a bit confused. It's complicated now. Amitabh Dubey joins us from the research team of the Congress. We got an NCP Sharad Pawar leader with us in the studio who's now wearing pink. And I'm kind of confused with you as well. Have you joined Ajit Pawar already? Why are you wearing pink?
No, always Pawar Sahib. You have to say that pink is not limited to one leader. We have to all start
I thought maybe on the way you did some deal. You did some deal.
No deals.
But with just 10 MLAs, for all you know, whatever you have, may join the Eknath, may join the Ajit Pawar faction. Yes, Shaina, welcome. Congrats. You fought a hard battle. We saw some images of kind of effort and hard work you made.
Thank you.
Congratulations on the alliance's victory. So how does one describe you, BJP Neta or Sena candidate?
First, it was the Mahayuti leadership that gave me this opportunity, and I'd like to thank Eknath Shinde ji for choosing a Ladki Behen for the toughest constituency in Maharashtra. Mumba Devi, as you know, is a hardcore Muslim bastion, 140,000 people and 1 lakh Hindus. And the kind of polarizing one saw, it only makes you realize, and sadly so, that you have two options. One is to vote on the basis of calm or to vote on the basis of calm. And unfortunately, I think calm is what the opposition set as a narrative, and that is where that comes from. But having said that, it's like moving, Rahul, from one home to another. And when you have a joint family and you move from one household to another, obviously the ideology continues to stay the same. There's no question of compromising with your values. And obviously the interest of Maharashtra is most important at this particular time, not just now, but in the days to come too. And the
So you
only
fought
thing
on
which
a
seems
Shinde
to have
Sena
worked in this
ticket.
tsunami
You're
historic
originally a BJP
battle.
leader. Who will be the next chief minister? Will it be Eknath Shinde, Devendra Fadnavis, or somebody else? What's your take on it, China?
I knew you would ask me this, and let me please say, as a disciplined cadre of the Mahayuti, it is for the Mahayuti leadership to take a decision on who would be. But having said that, Eknath Shinde is a mass leader, Devendra ji is extremely well-rooted with experience, and Ajit Pawar has administrative skill. So it is for the leadership to decide what is the future course. I only would like to say that the interest of Maharashtra is most important, and that's all we all have as a common agenda.
Okay, Amitabh Dubey is with us. I've got 2 tweets of Rahul Gandhi. I'll show them to you and play them back to back. Tweet number 1, Rahul Gandhi, हमें हरियाणा के अप्रत्याशित नतीजे का विश्लेषण कर रहे हैं. We are analyzing the unprecedented results of Haryana. That was on the 8th of October. Cut to the 23rd of November. He says महाराष्ट्र के नतीजे अप्रत्याशित हैं और इनका हम विस्तार से विश्लेषण करेंगे. You know, he's been doing this विश्लेषण for the last month, and in that time the BJP has pulled the rug from underneath his feet.
So today is obviously a mixed day for us. The India Alliance had a very strong performance in Jharkhand, which we see as an approval of the policies of the government there for the last 5 years. We did pretty well in a number of by-elections in Madhya Pradesh, Karnataka, Kerala, and of course, Srimati Priyanka Gandhi won very decisively in Wayanad, as expected, but it's good to see. Maharashtra is a story that is of great concern to us. Now, don't get me wrong, victory and defeat happens in politics. The Congress party has seen many victories, it has seen many defeats. But in Haryana, we had some very serious questions about the EVMs and the counting, which we brought to the attention of the Election Commission, you will recall. And the Election Commission responded in a very aggressive and a manner that was not really appropriate for a constitutional body that is supposed to look out for the entire democratic system, not only for the ruling party. Now, we have to take this very seriously. So, within weeks, we don't have all the answers. We have begun a process. We've approached the Election Commission, as you know. Now what we see is another election defeat, where, like I said, it's not the fact of defeat that is bothering us. The BJP has gone from just 6 months ago, the BJP won 9 out of 28 seats in the Lok Sabha, and now it has won a record 133 out of 148. The Ajit Pawar NCP won 1 out of 4 Lok Sabha seats just less than 6 months ago.
You're
and now
quoting
has
the
won
data back to me.
59.
I'm trying to understand.
We see this as a very surprising and unexpected.
Amitabh, you're smarter than this. You're trying to draw an equivalence between Jharkhand and Maharashtra. Maharashtra is the prize, the political prize. Jharkhand is, of course, important. There is no equivalence. There is no comparison. You were 30 versus 17 in Maharashtra. This was your election to win. There was anti-incumbency. There was agrarian distress. Your man was speaking about the constitution. He was speaking about Dalit reservation. Instead of talking about kharche pe charcha, talking about cotton and soybean prices, it was almost as if you were picking up issues which didn't resonate with the voters of Maharashtra. I mean, this is the reality.
I have to disagree with that characterization. I've heard this in the media a lot today. But the fact is that our guarantees, Mahalakshmi, were aimed at women. We had a farm loan waiver, which obviously resonates in Vidarbha, or would have, we had planned to resonate in Vidarbha, because that's an issue that's very important there. Caste census affects people, even in the state. We've done caste censuses in our states. Health for all, 25 lakh, insurance, unemployment allowance. These are all issues relevant to a state election. It's not fair to say that we were only carrying on the issues from the national election. Those issues are important, but we were addressing a lot of the concerns of the state. What we have, our concerns are to do with what some people have been calling, a ground level manipulation, where the deletion of, vulnerable sections from the voting lists, whether it's tribals, minorities,
come
Dalits,
on, Amitabh.
whether it is
233 versus 49. Even if I for a moment take that some tactical adjustments may have been made, you don't get this kind of a verdict by knocking a few names off the electoral list. This is a tsunami. It was building up in Maharashtra. You were so blinded by confidence that you couldn't see what was going to come and hit you in the face. That's really what happened. Now you're trying to find some fault with electoral rolls or EVMs.
No, we are not doing it now. We were doing it throughout the campaign. We went to the Election Commission for the last month, we've been raising these very issues. And of course, the Election Commission doesn't do sunwai nahi hoti, as they say. They have a very arrogant attitude about this. They don't listen to us. They don't treat it with the seriousness it is due. And so we have many questions and concerns about this election, which we have raised, which we mentioned in our press conference today, and we will continue to bring to the relevant authorities.
Anish Gawande, do you think you're in the wrong NCP? Are you wishing this evening that you were on the other side?
Not at all. I think definitely in the right NCP, and one defeat does not a party make. And similarly, a single
But this one defeat could a party break?
No, I don't think so. I think when the party broke off...
You're also wearing pink.
I'm also wearing pink. But when the party broke off, I think there was a similar moment.
There's messaging in the pink, whether you agree with it.
There's no messaging in the pink. I really should have chosen a better wardrobe today. But...
No, you're reaching... it's like a... It's from a wannabe neta, advertisement to Ajit Tada. Please take me, I'm available, I'm ready. Waiting for one call.
I'm congratulating everyone on the Mahayuti's side. We're not sore losers. I think they've fought well and they've won well.
Why did you get hammered?
And I think for two reasons. I think, for one, we did not manage to get all of our promises to the people. I think there's a reality that the Mahalakshmi Yojana did not reach people in time.
Why not?
Unfortunately, because it was announced late perhaps. Maybe there was also the fact that every single evening, Rahul, we were being bombarded with some ulema letter or the other, some new controversy around religion in an attempt by no less than the senior leadership of the ruling party to create this election into a Hindu-Muslim election. And we failed to counter that, right? And I think in many ways that became the dominant narrative in the 1 week before the election.
Yes, Rajan.
See, if an ulema is issuing fatwas after fatwas, and you are saying that, I should have dealt with those fatwas later on. I mean, half of the party would have actually wanted those fatwas to come out. My problem is the first one that you said. Typically, we've seen that the Congress party is fairly good in terms of literally, doling out promises and ensuring those promises reach every household. My problem is 1 week before the election, you actually formally came out. 3 days before, you were saying the soybean price, support price that you're going to give of 7,000 rupees, just 3 days before. How on earth are you expecting that?
No, but also that big press conference happens, Amitabh, on the day Donald Trump wins in the United States in the evening. I mean, there's some basic election management 101. Donald Trump is winning. You want to get your message to the voters. The day after you do your press conference, finally the BJP has already booked out all the front pages of the newspapers. I mean, they were running circles around you.
See, I do obviously disagree with that, because what we saw in the general election is we were running circles around them. Now, it doesn't happen that overnight suddenly they have become geniuses and we have become naive at politics. There's much deeper things going on which we have brought to people's attention. There's
what are these deeper things you're talking about?
Announced on the 6th of November, which is, not last minute at all. There's enough time for them to be distributed and people to know about them. So I think it's very easy to jump on the loser in an election and say you did this wrong, did that wrong. We have to be fair and balanced. And we've also brought some concerns forth, which I think should be given a fair hearing. Vinod Thackeray was caught distributing cash. All sorts of things were happening in this election, which aren't just, a good strategy, but there were some very dubious means used.
Shaina NC, Manikam Tagore said this. Amitabh Dubey is saying this. Lots of Congress leaders think that you all gave money and that's how you won. Ki paise ke dam pe jeet gaye.
I want to make just one point.
Yes.
There have been lots of allegations through this election. And if we even look at narratives, I have to make this point, so I want to make it right now. That, every morning you had a Sanjay Raut coming out with a comment. You had a Nana Patole coming with a counter comment. The kind of language that was used, whether it was item, mal, bakri, kutta, I mean, that was the level to which they stooped. So people were fed up of listening to this kind of repartee. And in fact, they voted for us in large numbers based on the development work which the Mahayuti has done in 2.5 years. And it's imperative for your viewers to know this, because when people see this kind of a historic tsunami, it's also out of disgust of the other side that seems so desperate to just want the seat of power. If you look at what Nana Patole said, he said that, the Congress is not going to accept a Shiv Sena CM. Shiv Sena, Ubata Sena was of the opinion that they would be in a position to even contend, which was like saying you're, having a dream or a nightmare both combined, because you're not even going to get the numbers. But if you see ideologically also, when has Congress ever said Hindu Hriday Samrat Adarniya Balasaheb Thackeray? Not even once. When has the Shiv Sena talked about its own vote bank? It has Ubata Sena. It has only resorted to Muslims and Dalits as a vote bank. So this kind of pseudo-secular
you know the Thackeray family well, Shaina.
That has
Will the
cost them
UBT
heavy.
last as a political entity, or do you think these 20 MLAs that they won may end up coming and joining Eknath Shinde as well?
Let me please say that the Ubata Sena is done and dusted. Let me please say that the Ubata Sena is done and dusted. They don't have any option here on, because they have lost their core voter who has been so disappointed with them, leaving their ideology only for lust for power. Can you imagine if Adarniya Hindu Hriday Samrat Adarniya Balasaheb Thackeray was around? If he was alive, if he even knew that the Ubata and the Congress were together. But I don't want to get into their commentary, because every morning Sanjay Raut does enough service or disservice to them. I just want to speak about our agenda, which is development, development, development.
Okay, development is the agenda, and after this kind of a big... You still didn't answer the question. Are you a Shinde Sena leader or a BJP leader? You danced around that question, Shaina. I didn't answer it straight.
Shinde Sena.
So BJP chhod di?
I answer that the Shinde Sena is here to stay.
Okay, let's not put her on a spot. It's a tough question to ask. And it's a tough question to ask. It's an easy question to ask, but it's a tough question to answer. So she's saying she's now in the Shinde Sena officially, and she got... And it did well for Milind Deora, who will be joining us in just a couple of minutes for him from now. And hopefully it will do well for Shaina NC as well. So thank you very much, Shaina, for joining us. Rohan Gupta now joins us from the BJP. Rohan bhai, this is a massive victory. Would you accept that this is probably bigger than what the BJP was expecting? Oh, he's joining us from the headquarters. So there's lots of shor sharaba, I'm sure, happening around you.
Well, in the morning, when Rajiv had asked me my number, I told 200 plus. So obviously I'm not a cephalogist, but from ground reality, after seeing 22 elections, at least I could feel the pulse of the ground. And even 2 days back, I was in debate with you. I was telling that opposition is totally against, there was no narrative with them. They completely lack narrative as far as national narrative or local narrative. And I think this is the result of that, but nobody would have accepted this kind of landslide victory, where you have 234. This is a historic victory in the state of Maharashtra, and clear-cut mandate in favor of Mahayuti. It is a clear-cut mandate in favor of people, and message by people is very clear. You have to work for us, irrespective of caste, religion, anything. We want government to work for us, number one. We don't want divisive politics, number two. And in case you are promising something, you have to show us in different states that you are capable of fulfilling that. So I think all these three narratives put together, this is the result of this landslide victory. And I think congratulations to Modi's leadership and each and every BJP worker, Mahayuti
no, so if you're so rara,
was possible.
Okay, I want to go across now to Rajya Sabha MP Milind Deora, who gave the Thackerays the fright of their life by fighting right till the very end. He lost in the end, but what a fight this was. I mean, I asked earlier if you were Bali ka Bakra, far from. You almost turned out to be the giant slayer at the end of a long and bruising day. Milind bhai, your reflections on what could have been?
Thank you. I'd like to go beyond the terms of Bali ka Bakra and giant slayer. I think there's more to politics and elections than that. The truth is, as I said to you earlier, there was a lot of anti-incumbency locally, and I took on, I would say, the entire might of the UBT party, which still is formidable in certain parts of Mumbai. They won 3 seats in South Mumbai itself. And the entire might of the party, when I say the entire might, Worli, mind you, I was taking on a former CM, a former minister in the government of Maharashtra, a former union minister. The local MP is theirs. The local MLAs, of course, Aditya. Two MLCs from Worli who are both former MLAs of Worli, 3 former mayors, and MNS who was busy cutting our votes. And for us to have brought it down to 8,000 votes, in my opinion, I'm proud of the way we ran the campaign within a very short period, maybe about 18 days or so. So, as I said earlier to certain friends in the media, that I'm a Rajya Sabha MP, but I will continue to work as a Lok Sabha MP, as a Vidhan Sabha MLA for the people of Worli to get them justice. I think that they've been deprived of that for a long time, and I don't say that as a political point. There was a response from the people that they wanted a change. And if we didn't succeed in giving them a change electorally, we will try our best to do that developmentally.
Do you concede that at 133, the BJP has the legitimate right to seek to be chief minister, that your boss, your political boss, Eknath Shinde, fought well, fought hard, did spectacularly well, won more seats than the entire MVA, but will find it tough to be CM given the scale and scope of the BJP's victory, Milind?
Look, I don't want to get into these things and comment on a public forum like a news channel, but ultimately we fought the election under the chief minister's leadership, under both the deputy chief minister's leadership, and I'm pretty sure that internally there will be a discussion and that everything will be well and shared with you very shortly.
Were you expecting this level of mandate, or would you concede that this is beyond your 234 now? MVA at 48, all of MVA out of 288 seats is more than what the India Alliance has in Jharkhand out of 81. I mean, that's just phenomenal in terms of election performance.
Let me be brutally honest. I was not expecting this scale of a mandate. I was certainly expecting a comfortable majority. When I say comfortable majority, Mahayuti crossing 145 seats without having to depend on independent MLAs, but reaching 234, I didn't expect that. I thought maybe in the range of about 180 or so. That was my personal view. But my party was very confident, and I was sensing the response. You know, Rahul, in Worli alone, when I was campaigning, I kid you not, I met maybe 6 or 7 women. One of them I posted a video of as well, who just totally women I've never met before, not party workers, not affiliated with our party, with any of the Mahayuti parties, and who just said that, we received this money and we started a vada pav stall, we started a pani puri stall. I remember meeting a woman who was running a stall, and my convoy, when we were passing, we almost toppled her stall over, and I was very upset about that. And I caught the stall, helped her, and I said, "Are you okay?" And she said, "Yes." And she said, "I just started this about a few weeks ago, and I'm a divorcee, a widow, sorry. My husband passed away. I have a handicapped child. I have to provide for my home. And I used the money from the Ladki Behan scheme to set up this business." And my camera team was with me, and I said, "Would you like to send a message to the chief minister?" And she started speaking and had tears in her eyes. She couldn't speak. So, there was this overwhelming support, which was very visible during a campaign from women especially. That's one. I think the second thing which worked was, we ran a campaign which said that we want to take Maharashtra forward. We had an agenda. There was projects on the ground that had been executed. As usual, all I was hearing from the opposition was, "I'm going to stop this, I'm going to stop that, I'm going to stop this." Almost like it was a campaign slogan, like, "I'm going to stop this." So we coined the phrase speed breaker politics.
No, but Ramesh Chanitala, who ran the infamous Congress campaign in Maharashtra, has just said that today's verdict is unbelievable. I have contested many elections myself. We spoke to people on the ground. Even the exit poll said there is a fight. How can we believe this verdict? From Manikam Tagore, all these people well. Manikam Tagore says money won. I just had Amitabh Dubey of the research cell. He says, something seems terribly amiss. They're questioning EVMs and whether they are valid. How do you respond to the kind of reactions that we're seeing from the Congress party, Milind?
I find it ridiculous. And of course, some of the names you mentioned are people I hold in high regard. Some are complete clowns, unfortunately, and I don't like to say that.
Which one is the clown?
Whoever, that doesn't matter, but some of them have absolutely no idea on the ground.
Now you're not bound by the code of conduct of the Congress party. Which one of those did I name was the clown?
It's not a code of conduct. No, I don't mean the 3 people you mentioned. I mean that there are some people in the party who are complete jokers in terms of the kind of stuff that they believe. I mean, they think, I've often said, I've said this in a tweet once, that if you get the story right, you can get data and facts wrong. And I think when you over depend on data and you think that data wins you elections as compared to a strong narrative, when you think that fear wins you an election as compared to hope, then you should expect these kinds of victories, or these kind of defeats. So, ultimately we sold a campaign which was positive, which was development oriented. If I look at Mumbai, Rahul, and I'm a hardcore Mumbaiker, as you know, there has been massive development, and I can tell you this as a Mumbaiker beyond a politician. Things that I've been fighting for 20 years of my political life have finally come to fruition thanks to this government's efforts. And when I say this government, I mean starting from Devendra Fadnavis when he was chief minister in 2014 to now. And every time when we were in power, when Congress was in power in 1999 to 2004, they were just opposing those projects at the time, either the center or the state, for environmental reasons, other reasons. And that narrative was continued by the MVA partners in this election. And I really believe that ultimately people don't want speed breakers in their way. They want things to go forward. It's wrong for these data guys in Delhi in the Congress party to think that Indian voters, because they're not as literate or as well educated as them, that they're less informed. They know what's going on in the world.
We've got one data guy, by the way, live. I don't want to put you in a debate with him, but one of the data guys of the Congress is in
all
fact
I'm saying
live
is,
with
Rahul,
us.
no,
Yes.
I'm not, I don't know who this, but all I'm trying to tell you is there are the voters of Maharashtra, Mumbai, India, they know what's happening globally. They know what's happening with America. They know what's happening with China. They know what's happening on our borders. They know what India needs to do to get ahead. And they don't want to hear someone repeatedly running down the India story. And I tried to warn the Congress for a long, long time. But I think that, unfortunately, I'm not a data scientist or one of those kind of people. So when you have someone on the ground, you have your ear to the ground, you don't get rewarded, unfortunately, in certain systems. But beyond that, that's history now for me.
But Rahul Gandhi, who you know well, Milind, made a big deal of the whole Dharavi issue, the slum Just hear my question. Hear my question, then make the point. Rahul Gandhi made a big deal of the slum rehabilitation issue, attacked the Adani group non-stop through the campaign, trying to give it a Maharashtra versus Gujarat kind of angle, that industry is going to Gujarat. What do you make of the verdict in the context of the kind of campaign that Rahul Gandhi ran?
No, I would want to get into a specific person's campaign, but there was a campaign by the NBA to make it Maharashtra versus Gujarat, Marathi versus Gujarati, Maharashtrians versus Gujarati people. That failed. That was a divisive campaign. People saw through it. Maharashtrians saw through it. It failed. My opponent Aditya, there's so much anti-incumbency in Worli. There are projects which are stuck for 25 years, 30 years. People were asking me that why is he talking about Dharavi when he's not talking about Worli, where he's an MLA from? And it was a valid question. And I said, you should ask him that question. Don't ask me that question. So I think sometimes people lose touch. But as I said, there's a huge challenge before the Mahayuti. It's a challenge where it's a massive verdict. People obviously have voted us in with high expectations, regardless of what happens.
How does the nature of governance change? Given the scale of this victory, the stability that now comes to Maharashtra, what should voters expect to be different over the next 5 years?
It's a good question. And I think that one thing we can expect is that all three leaders of this alliance, Rahul, I've seen politics for a long time. I've seen Maharashtra's politics for a long time. They are three of the hardest working politicians I've met in my life. They work non-stop. Some of them work till late in the night. Some of them wake up early in the morning.